You might ask yourself, what possible health benefits could an illegal plant have? The answer is starting to become more clear. It begins with something that each and every one of us has. It's something called the endocannabinoid system.
We think of marijuana as this violent, unnatural intrusion on human biology. It's not. We are built with all kinds of receptors for cannabis.
Cannabis mimics endogenous chemicals that we already produce in the body called endocannabinoids. That's why we have receptors that pretty well fit cannabis.
Cannabinoids, are these 20 carbon molecules that we produce, that the plant produces. There's over 100 of them in the plant, and these two systems work together to regulate cell cluster, cell, and intracellular functions. All the cannabinoids do is help cells function. They don't care what the cell does. They don't care if it's contracting, secreting thyroid, synthesizing this, remodeling bone. It doesn't matter. Just they're doing something, and they do it a little more effectively. Western medicine has never seen a substance like this. We like single drug, single function, and you come along with a molecule that may have an interface inside of every cell and help it function more effectively, and really it's a hard one to imagine.
I can't find any real legitimate doctor that thinks smoking marijuana is good for anybody. Sure, it may relieve pain temporarily, but a fifth of Jack Daniels might do the same thing, and nobody's calling that medicine, right?
People who say there is no established medical use of marijuana simply don't know what they're talking about. It's so versatile.
It seems every day when I open up the news, there's another report on cannabinoids having some type of medical utility.
Control of muscle spasticity, multiple sclerosis,
Glaucoma, colitis,
Nausea, pain,
migraine headaches. There are hundreds of reasons that people find marijuana useful.
That's why I look so good after 41 years in the game.
It is the most non-toxic medicine I have ever encountered. Once it's free of the prohibition tariff, it's going to be much less expensive than the pharmaceutical products which it will replace.
Think of a strain as a little chemistry lab, an organic chemistry lab, because what's happening is Mother Nature is creating her own cannabinoid profile. For instance, you could smoke a variety or use a variety that would help you with your headache, or I could use a variety that might help me with my back pain.
If an AIDS patient comes in and they have problems eating or they can't sleep, okay, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you know for sure the indica is going to put you down. It's going to relax you 100%. It's going to give you appetite. And you don't want to give him a sativa because you give him a sativa, he's going to be up thinking all night.
So it's about genes. It is about this kind of character of plant can do this and this kind of plant can do that. It's very important to keep these gene marks, that's the original ones. It could be the medicine that we need.
What is a landrace? A landrace is basically a species of marijuana that's indigenous to an area and growing there for hundreds of years in a certain area.
Cannabis is from all over the world. So we have Afghan varieties, Indian varieties.
In Colombia, you have the famous Santa Marta Punta Roja. In Central Africa, you will have the Malawi Gold. When I started this whole new series of strain hunting, it was to show the world how much people depend on marijuana around the world. We estimate that probably around 200 to 300 million people, families, are depending on this crop. It's still a drug in most countries, so the police takes it, or it's expensive, so robbers will steal it. And these are areas where the UN or other big international NGOs like UNESCO never will come. In these very remote areas, there are a lot of very nice land races. And we would like to preserve these land races for the future, so we try to obtain them and find them and bring them back. We have new varieties that we can play with to see if they will have any benefit for the future, medicinal or recreational. It's like getting a new athlete in your team that you can crossbreed and create a new variety of marijuana.
In recent years, understanding of medical marijuana's diversity has become universally widespread news. With a greater knowledge of strains has come new discoveries. These discoveries are leading us to medical benefits we never could have imagined.
Jaden is 7 years old now. Jaden was was born perfectly healthy. At 4 months old, Jaden had his first seizure. It was just a downhill road for the next few years. She's having 500 twitching myoclonic seizures a day. He'd have grand mal for an hour, hour and a half. I remember he was crying from 1 o'clock at night to 9 in the morning, screaming, crying in pain. He was seeing things. He was hallucinating from the medications. At 4.5, Jaden was taking 22 pills a day. He was at 25,000 pills he had taken by the time he was 5 years old. Jaden had tried 12 different medications. We had 40 ambulances because we were fighting with the insurance companies all the time. We lost our house, we lost our cars, we lost our business, we lost our family. I went to UCSF. I said, look, I don't think Jaden's gonna make it another week. What do you suggest? They're all, I don't know. I mean, I would try anything. I go, what do you think about medical marijuana? They're all, well, like we said, you think we're a life and death situation, you should try anything. So I said, all right. I went and picked up something I saw in a dispensary, came home, I gave it to Jaden. After 4.5 years of having myoclonic seizures, 500 a day, and twitching and head drops and seizing, the first day I gave it to him was, thank God, 1 million times. It was the first day he's ever went seizure-free in his life. Then after that, second day, third day, fourth day, the seizures were down dramatically. I could see his eyes lighting up. It was summertime. It was June 1st, the first day I gave it to him, 2011. He started swimming. Jaden's never been able to swim before. The sudden temperature change of water would give him a seizure. Boom, I put him in the front yard, and my neighbor's like, oh my gosh, we've never seen him in the front yard. They were so excited, they were cheering him on. I started weaning him off the medications after 1 month I was on the CBD. Every time I took him off, he would suffer for 2 weeks, and boom, he'd become more human. Then take off another pill, suffer for 2 weeks, boom, become more human. Jaden started chewing. Jaden was only eating Gerber food all the way till he was 5 years old. He started chewing. With taking 25,000 pills, it really wears on your body and brain, so it's kind of recovering more from the medications and from the epilepsy. And we decided to wean off the hardest one, benzodiazepines. He was having tremors, nightmares, brain zaps. I've contacted 30 different benzo withdrawal clinics. They go, how old is the person that's coming on that you want to bring into our clinic? And I tell them 7 years old. And they scream at the top of their lungs. Every single one vividly say the same exact thing. You have a 7-year-old on benzos? Because we have people here that are football players. We have people here that are big, tough guys that are dying, literally dying from benzos, and you have a 7-year-old on it? I said, 7-year-old? My son's been addicted to it since he's 16 months old. So now we have to figure out a way to wean them off by ourselves because the benzo detox clinics are not willing to take in a 7-year-old. Since we've been using the CBD, he's been doing amazing. It has under 1% THC, so it doesn't give you that euphoria. Second thing is it's abstracted, it's organic. We know the dosaging, the milligrams. We're in the forefronts of something huge. It's either you're gonna give up and just let your child be a vegetable and die, or you're gonna sit there and fight. I still haven't met Jaden yet. I know Jaden in 22 pills, but I'm down to Jaden in 2 pills. That's who I know right now. I don't know Jaden, but on medication. Christmas before Jaden was born, that was my Christmas gift, was that Jaden was gonna be born. My ex-wife had to give me a box. I opened it and I remember, it's a hard one. I remember opening the box and seeing a pregnancy test and saying positive with 2 baby shoes and then having so much expectation, having so much expectation that, you're gonna have your son. As a parent, you're expecting, your child to play football, you're expecting your child to talk, I mean, right now, my number one goal right now is to have my son say, I love you. I mean, people take that for granted. People take that for granted. Their kids could talk and say, I love you. That's all I want to hear my son say. But I mean, if I could hear him say that, I'll be more than happy. He said it one time on CNN, I la Lou, he was really close, but I gotta hear it. I mean, if he says that, I've already conquered the world. Seeing your child suffer, there's nothing worse than that. There's no torture worse than that, especially every day.